All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, Stephen.
Is she not amazing or what?
No.
We'll wait for everyone to come back.
We're about to get started, everyone. Take your seats. Please don't leave. There's a reception coming. There's a great ending panel after this one. So come on. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, a big thanks to the last panel. Give them a round of applause. Energy, people. I know it's hot. Okay. So I am excited to sit down with my good friend, Stephen Ritz, who is an educator and urban farmer and the founder of the Green Bronx Machine. He is a force of nature, as you will see. So we're going to play a video from the inspiring new film, Generation Growth. Enjoy, everyone.
I'm planting cucumbers. I'm planting basil.
Me too. I'm planting basil.
Do you like basil?
I've never had it.
Hello? Good morning, good morning.
You go in my classroom and you ask children where do they get their food. They say the gas station, the drugstore. That's appalling to me that children are shopping for food in a drugstore. We're seeing all kinds of health anomalies in communities of poverty.
You got the bodegas with 5 different types of pork rinds, but no fresh fruit.
There's a strong linkage between having poor diet, having poor health outcomes, and then they're just affecting your quality of life across so many different dimensions.
Zip code and skin color should not determine outcomes in life. I'm out to change that.
Hello, Toledo! How many of you would be excited about having a tower garden in your school?
I had this vision. I could teach children if I put this magical garden in the middle of a classroom and built school around it.
Stephen Ritz and his Green Bronx Machine are opening young minds to science, nutrition, and wellness.
When you cultivate a palate, you are changing the trajectory of those children's lives and taste buds forever.
You like the lettuce?
Yeah, I like the lettuce.
For me, the greatest resource in the world is the untapped potential in communities like mine.
Parents are sending us their best kids. They're not keeping the good ones at home.
Can you put the chair down? Can you put your arms through your shirt? Maybe that'll help bring some brain power.
I hope my son can see past the hood. When he comes home, he tells me about the garden or what he's tried and what we should try. He has 1,000,001 suggestions.
What's happening in the inner city and beyond, a lot of that has to do with food, period.
Children want to be engaged and involved in something. So sometimes you gotta pull a little magic out of the hat.
You can hug it, but not too tight.
My favorite subject is science. I'm a quick thinker. Look at mine right now. Look at mine.
How did you do today?
Good.
Good.
I'm exhausted. I'm emotionally depleted. But my heart is full.
Oh my God.
Once you see it the first time, you're inspired. But the fact that you keep seeing it over and over again, how lives are being changed, then you're motivated. Something special's happening here.
This is how change happens. Access to healthy food, one person, one community at a time.
You can't rush growth. You can't go from seed to harvest without care and cultivation in the middle.
Woo! So exciting that this movie is coming out. I want you to all give a round of applause for this man who's made this all happen, Stephen Ritz.
No, give it up for Danny. It's International Women's Day every day, so I just want to shout out my wife, my daughter, and all the kids who are watching, because they're still in school for after school.
Amazing.
So from here we are, guys, in Texas. Holler!
That's great.
All right, let's get to it
great.
and have some fun.
So, Stephen, nobody pulls magic out of their hat quite like you do. I'm wondering why it was important to document the work that you're doing in this incredible film.
So this film was filmed 6 years ago. It was filmed pre-COVID. It was filmed pre a certain administration and one that we're dealing with now. It was filmed before I almost lost my wife to cancer, largely due to food-related diseases. And if I were to tell you 6.5 years later that every single kid in that school, in this film is thriving, every single school is outperforming their peer index neighbors by 10 or more percentage points, and that we've done it 1,000 times across the United States in marginalized communities everywhere, and we're determined to keep giving it away, you would think I wasn't growing vegetables, but something else. But that's the good news, and we're just getting started. So I think it's important to lift up teachers, because now more than ever, teachers change lives. It's important now more than ever to think about food, to think about our nation, to think about the health of our nation, to think about what we as Americans can do together to grow something greater. And where does it really start with? It starts with food.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've said it, you know my shtick, the quote's not gonna change. The most important school supply in the world is food. Period. It's not computers, it is food. Input equals output, and children will never be well-read if they're not well-fed. And we have an opportunity now, no matter what side of the aisle you're on, to coalesce and grow something greater and really prioritize the consumption of fresh food, local farming. And, you know, I'm looking at Mark Oshima. We're partnering now with Babylon. I can't change the distribution system. That I can't do, but I could put a farm in every single school in America that's going to entitle kids to redeem their own food stamps and keep the money. That's what's up. That's the new entrepreneurship that we want to develop. So I couldn't be more excited. And, you know, Danny, kudos to you, man.
Oh, thank you.
You are the leader. No, you bring us together, you know? I mean,
it's my pleasure and honor to bring everyone together along with my colleagues. You know, one of the teachers in the film, and teachers are really at the top of mind for me right now because of everything that, you know, you mentioned happening, she said to her, she said she's exhausted, but her heart is full. And I am afraid right now that teachers are just going to be exhausted. How, you know, what are your thoughts, and how can we change that?
So let me be clear. Teachers, a lot of them are exhausted. I'm looking at Adam down here. I see a lot of people I know locally who have had to make a switch. They're not only exhausted, they're overwhelmed. And then you know what else they've done? They've quit. We have gotten the largest teacher exodus in the history of this nation this summer. So even in your beloved hometown, you know, look, we had programs, we had funding. We couldn't find live teachers to give programs to because they were warehousing kids in auditoriums.
You're talking about Baltimore.
I'm talking about Baltimore. You know, it's great. And I was recently in Pontiac, Michigan, the same thing. So teachers are overwhelmed. But imagine if you give somebody something that comes with unlimited support, no site license, no annual fees, no tier subscriptions, takes the traditional business model and says, to hell with it. Allows teachers to have access to what they need when they want it. Now, let me be clear. There are some parameters. We expect you to do certain things, but we give you guidelines, we give you support, and we make it manageable. And then we get the hell out of the way and let you have fun, but give you real-time data and analytics that you can access, not at the principal's choosing, you're choosing in real time. And what do we find, thanks to our friends at Google? That most active time for teachers is 9 o'clock at night to 6 o'clock in the morning after they put their own kids to bed. And if you give them something that they can use and utilize and access that makes sense, they're gonna use it.
Yeah.
No one wakes up to fail. No one, you know, I'd rather fail here than succeed here, and nobody rises to low expectations. But let's give them the support they need. Let's not overwhelm them, and let's make sure schools are performing and kids show up.
Can you talk a little bit about how the program can scale to meet students' needs sort of at any level?
Sure. So, you know, let me be clear. People think I'm the cheese hat guy, I'm the farm guy, I'm the salad guy. No, I'm an educator. And I believe the greatest way to end poverty in this nation is through public education, now more than ever. The greatest way that we're going to safeguard whatever rights we have left, and I'll leave it there, is through an educated and engaged constituency. And that starts with children who are literate, financially literate, and independent. And that comes through meaningful employment. But no one's gonna hire a kid who can't read, who can't be engaged. So as much as I love food, and let me be clear, you know, I was looking at Karen, I wish she was here so I could give her the props she deserves for really leading this. And Karen knows from where I come, and from where I come is a place you gotta really want to be at, because you can't get there unless you choose to, or unless you're stuck there or born there. So the ability move children. I mean, we've looked at 4 generations of failed policy, increasing health disparities. Look, I'm the only guy the Knicks, I'm still available, but I'm the only guy on my basketball team that's walking upright. And that's the reality of my community. Whereas 2.5 miles away, the average life expectancy is 15 years greater.
Mm-hmm.
There are big disparities there. But what do? We made this a program that makes it fun for kids to come to school and standardizes the process, not around growing vegetables. It's project-based learning. So ideally, you will grow a lot of food, and we use low-cost replicable technology. I don't want to spend 2 years waiting for a greenhouse that's never going to come, that's going to leak, or some kind of technology I can't understand. I want something that kids can get into each and every day that I can keep in my classroom that's safe. Listen, I'm looking at Bill. I was on the phone with Bill, and my car got shot up 2 weeks ago driving home. So by the grace of, I can't put kids outside in my neighborhood sometimes, seasonal things. So the garden lives in the classroom. The kids get excited about what they're growing, but if you see the film, they're reading, they're writing, they're doing math. And the cool thing is every 30 days you get a hell of a lot of crap to eat. And then you can scale it up. And you can do amazing things. So, I'm a lot older than I look. And I'm aging well, I like to say, largely because of what I eat. But Mark, you can hold up my shirt. It was when I met, I think the year before I met you, I was 350 pounds. I mean, that was me. Eating myself to death and disease, largely because of what's available in my community. And the bottom line is that kale is the new normal in the South Bronx in my community. Kale is the new normal. We've got kids boycotting Wendy's because they found out that they don't pay the farmers who look like them a penny more per pound, and the kids started activating, getting nuts about it. And these are kids they're going to be the next Karens, they're going to be the next Sandra Sotomayors, the next Barack Obamas. Listen, at your event, by the way, Aaron's making a film for you. Little Aaron, who you had last year, we're going to be in the film. Yeah. He's got a buddy. We had a mom who heard her son talk for the first time in our school, thanks to Danny, and then we celebrated him at the Food Waste Work or something.
Thanks to me.
So, it's amazing stuff. You cry, I cry. We're sending kids to college. I got immigrants who came through this program, medical school, and they're eating their way to good health. So the whole thing was really to do something that was never been done before. I don't want to beg for money, and I'm not, so don't worry. I wanted to do something that gave teachers tools, and a lot of it started here with Whole Foods, because when I saw $3,000 as a teacher, many, many years, I was like, that's a chunk of money. Senor, good to see you. And, you could do something with that. And imagine if the solutions didn't require big amounts of money, but huge lifts of capital in people. So you put that $3,000 to good use, and you do it again and again. And that's how we started scaling. Principals got on board because teachers got on board because we could measure it. And then there's free stuff out there. Like, listen, remember my AOL? I had an AOL account for years, in a VCR that said 12 o'clock. People said you should learn about Google. I did, and we got Google Analytics, and away we went. Free, in real time. I didn't want to sell things to people. I wanted to empower people. And that's what this and you and Food Tank and we are all about. And that's what we need to celebrate. The power of us, the power of now, and the power of people doing amazing things. And the power of business done right. Because let's be clear, business has gotten us into this problem. Bad business. But I believe good business has a benefit for everybody. And we cannot, now more than ever, nonprofit our way into prosperity. So imagine creating great relationships, customers, market share. We have 2,100 jobs out of our school.
Yeah.
And those kids, they shop at Whole Foods now instead of sitting around, and going to the Bulletproof Bodega. They want me to get Seth Goldman's iced tea down to the community now so they go buy it. I mean, these are good problems to have in the hood. With kids who want to grow up and be something epic instead of, like I did, thinking I was going to be a basketball player or a raps. I will share with you this. On Halloween, we don't call it Halloween, we call it Character Day. We had the best Character Day in the history of our school. And I'm in an elementary school where more than half the girls in public housing came to school dressed as Kamala Harris. And to understand what that meant when 5 years ago, they were coming to school dressed like Missy Elliott. And I love Missy Elliott, but a lot more kids can aspire to be Kamala Harris than they can be Missy Elliott, because you can get close. The second most popular costume was my wife, Mrs. Ritz, and they all came dressed as her, and they came here to talk, to clean up my desk and behave myself. And it was an amazing day.
Yeah.
And then the election happened, and we're still going forward.
Yeah.
And the kids are going to be okay. We as adults have to be okay. We have to stop name calling. We have to stop playing the blame game, and we have to look how we can set an example. And then, of course, the coolest thing is, with this whole piece with Kamala Harris, and for kids and communities like mine that are starving for fresh food and starving for opportunity, is, Babylon microfarms. Because Kamala Harris gave a great speech in front of it, and then to have this technology that's accessible in our classroom, where children of color can see this and say, wow, we can address the wrongs of slavery. We can address the wrongs of migrant labor by creating equitable systems that are fun, that are handheld, that you can do amazing things, that you could be technicians on. And, I don't have to worry about parents complaining their kids are getting dirty when they only have one pair of clothes. Their precious sneakers aren't going to get hurt. And the other thing is that we get out in the community, we do amazing things. I'm telling you, Hopi Mike, he hunted me down. He saw me in Arizona. Hopi Mike gave me seeds at the last event.
That's awesome.
We planted seeds in front of every liquor store in the South Bronx with Native American corn with senior citizens. And, people were like, what the hell is he doing? It was me, grandparents, and kids. And these seeds grew to be epic corn plants. And we put them in drug locations, we put them in front of crack spots, and the kids took care of them, the seeds grew.
Nice.
And that was, these are my children of the corn, food advocates, kids who are gonna really take over the world, one good meal at a time.
Absolutely. The film has been being shown across cities. What's the most sort of special reaction you've heard from a community?
Well, there are so many little, this clip, Miss Poland, we're going to have a Miss Poland Day, and she's now on her 6th generation of kids who are actually doing this program, coming back and teaching it. The foster care farm in Appalachia is now 100% sufficient, in a community where you could make $6.25 an hour. These young men have homes. We're creating add-value products. I got a plan with you and me. We're going to talk to a couple people. We're going to grow some ingredients and put this in add-value products. And wouldn't you pay $1 more for a product that was grown by a kid who didn't wind up dead of fentanyl in the middle of Appalachia? I think so, and I believe there's enough of us out there to do that. Thank you. So there's that piece. I get little kids going to college and going to land-grant colleges for free instead of, someone's prison because, we've got opportunities to do things with technology, with food, with community, and advocacy. So, I believe that high-performing, if good schools equal property value, in the worst communities, we should focus, and worst meaning, most marginalized, we should really focus more on schools. It makes good sense to me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to keep doing. This is where I'm putting my stake in the ground, and I'm willing to drop dead there doing it. But, no one's killing me anytime soon.
They aren't.
I got a lot of energy, and I'm eating my vegetables.
And Stephen, I've known you for 10 years now, and I've seen how incredible the inspiration you give people, it activates them in a way I have never seen. I wonder for this audience, as we wrap up with another panel today. What do you want them to do? What do you want them to do? As we've been saying all day, it's an uncertain time. What do you want them to do?
So I tell children, there are a couple of things I want to do, but number one, be kind. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Be kind to the planet. Call your parents if they're still alive. That's what I want you to do as an immediate. It would be really cool if everyone got out of here and gave each other a hug. That's something actionable that we can do today. I'm not writing, I do have 3 masters and a PhD. I'm the notorious PhD, I like to say. But I'm not doing another white paper. I want to do stuff that you can do today that someone else can do tomorrow. And that's why, I'm so grateful for your support about the film. We started a campaign that was, 1, can you share the film? That's pretty easy. Number 2, can you advocate for healthy food in your school and your community? That's pretty cool. I didn't take on certain food niches that certain people might expect me to do. I'm leaving that for a later date. Number 3, can you eat seasonally? Can you eat locally? And can you prioritize the consumption of fresh fruits and vegetables? Yeah. Can you think about reducing food waste and kids get really excited about that.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, compost is cool, and kids really love learning about worms and bugs and the microbiome. I have a kid trying to name every single bacteria living in my stomach. It's a big list. They're learning to count to 1 billion. And then lastly, be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and be kind to the planet. But in terms of action, as we sit here and we get ready to break, man, you want to change the world, I don't give a damn what car you drive. Think about what you're eating, because you do it 3 times a day. Where'd it come from? Where was it sourced? I'm looking right at you, Raj, man. A big shout out to Raj. I mean, like, where would we be without guys? Like, there are so many amazing teachers in this room. So just eat seasonably, eat locally, eat responsibly, and be a good role model and a good citizen. And, hold the door for a stranger. Pick up a tab at Starbucks. You won't go broke. No one will go broke giving love. And now more than ever, this nation needs to love itself and each other and our neighbors. Please, dear God. So we can do this.
We can do this. We can do this. No one's going to go broke giving love. Give it up for Stephen Ritz, everyone.
And I came, Danny, with a quote for you. So because I did my homework. And, Danny cries, and sometimes I do too. And I tell kids it's okay to cry. And, sometimes these days can make us feel a little broken. So I found a quote, and the beautiful thing is that this quote is anonymous. And it starts, because it's easy to feel broken right about now. And this is for the kids who are watching, wherever, because we got a lot of cities tuned in. When life breaks you, it's because you're ready to be put back together differently. And all of us are. Every piece of you that feels shattered is a piece that can find a new place, a new purpose, and a new meaning. And trust the cracks that where they are, light can get in. And sometimes in our brokenness, we can find the greatest wholeness. So find the courage to rebuild, to reimagine, redefine what it means to be strong. We are not broken. You are not broken. We're just breaking through. And with that, the degree to which we resist any injustice is the degree to which we are all free. So let's celebrate, give each other a hug, and
Thank you, Stephen.
See you in Baltimore.
Thank you.
And see the film. See the film. www.generationgrowthfilm.com, or see me and I'll come do a screening with you. And Raj, I want you to review it. So I came just to pick your nose about that. See you later, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Holler!